And now it's time to hear from the coach, brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, a proud partner of St. Mary's Athletics, as we talk to Marty Clarke. Marty, it's kind of a strange game. Not a lot of flow to the last 25 minutes or so, and once Pacific went into that zone defense, it seemed like it disrupted your rhythm a little bit. What do you see there from the bench, and what do you take away from it?
Yeah, certainly a grindy sort of game. I mean, I thought we started well, really bounced out, and played some great D early, really restricted them, and then I guess I had to try something different, went to a zone, and really zone shouldn't hurt us. It shouldn't. Well, not that it did hurt it, but it certainly disrupted what we did. We slowed right down, didn't throw the ball inside, and so kind of just played around the horn and took a 3 at the end of the shot clock, which is not the way we want to attack a zone, obviously. And then it was hard to regain that rhythm. And they were changed between zone and man-to-man. They were going... mixing it up, which really shouldn't matter. But, it kind of slowed everything down, and we weren't able to get the ball to Jock and didn't really throw it through the high post and zone.
You see anything different or special with the way that they were defending? I mean, not just once Jock got the ball. They would throw. We've seen teams throw a bunch of guys at Jock before, but not letting him catch the ball for a good majority of the game and at least hold on to it for a little while and take his time.
Yeah. No, they fronted him and they played really heavy weak side defense, and really it should be the guy on the wing should just throw a pass fake and skip it right across the head, and we should have a shooter sitting in the other corner. Lots of shoulds in there, just not a lot of dids. Maybe some of the guys throwing at the post would try, because we always emphasise throw the ball inside, and maybe guys were so focused on looking at the post they weren't looking at the defence and seeing where the defence were. And you just got to skip that thing across. You're going to have Calvin or Steph or Tanner or someone sitting on the back side of it, and that should be heaven for us. That's
sure.
It should be raining threes, but I thought we just laboured the point, didn't move the ball crisply, and I don't think it was anything they did. I think it was just we slowed ourselves down, which is not how we want to play.
In the end, Jock does end up with a double-double, but
yeah.
you had a bunch of, again, a lot of missed layups, or a number of missed layups in the game. That could have changed the margin significantly. And does part of that come from Pacific being extra physical? Because this was a physical game.
This was a really physical game. I mean, they're up in India, and not physical so much on the perimeter, but certainly physical inside. I mean, they didn't get up and try and take away passing lanes, or when you normally talk about physical teams, physical athletic teams, you often think about what they do on the perimeter and try and deny ball reverse on it. It wasn't that. We could move the ball around. It was more they just packed it in. They fronted the post and they played a guy behind. And if he caught it, they went and tried and double team him. And as I said, we just slowed ourselves down and laboured on trying to throw the ball into the low post, where we really should have gone high post, low post, or high post corner, or skip to the corner. In the end, it was probably one of those games where you get out by 15 and maybe mentally you try and hold on rather than try and really put the foot down and go out by 20, then 25 and 30.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the beginning, it looked like you guys were going to run them out of the gym, but you credit Pacific, too. They continued to play hard, and that's kind of something they've had in this program, like we talked about in the pregame going back to last year and the year before and the year before. A physical team that plays hard is always dangerous and tough to separate from.
It is certainly tough to separate, and that's where I think we got it in the second half. When we were out by 18, it came back. I think it came back to maybe 9, and then we had a couple of plays in a row where we were able to move the ball, penetrate, throw it out, end up with good threes. And Tanner hit one and had a couple of nice plays in a row, and then it was 15 again. I think from there on, it was like, okay, that's the way we need to play. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard's telling you. You should be playing that way because that's the way we do play. Rather than trying and grind it out. We want to be ball movement, player movement, get penetration, drive and kick, and in the end you end up shooting a bunch of threes. But that's fine. I mean, I thought we hit 13 tonight, so it was probably our most threes made for quite a while, actually.
You mentioned Tanner. You got to love the way he's carrying himself right now. He's playing with a bunch of confidence, not only on the offensive side, but he gives you so much versatility on the defensive side. Yeah,
really good defender, which was coming into the program, it was a little bit of a question mark as to who or what type of player is he going to guard, but he's worked really hard. Certainly during his redshirt year, he spent time dedicated to improving his lateral foot speed and his ability to stay down and stay in front of the ball. And he's long, he's a good enough athlete, but he's quick side to side now, and he's hard to score over because of his length.
Got to love the floor game as well from Joe Rahan. I mean, we could talk about him just about every game because he controls the pace so well.
Yeah.
Every game. I mean, that's probably his most valuable asset, that and his leadership. But, 9 points tonight, 9 assists, and 1 turnover.
Yeah, and did a good job. We made an adjustment of how we were going to get Jock the ball, and that was it was going to come through, obviously, with Joe when they were fronting the post, that you can get it reversed and then just lob it against. I mean, they're fronting in the zone, but the zone has got to shift. We had a shooter on that side. The guy fronting the post means we can drive it opposite Jock and then throw it back across. And I think we probably got that 3 times, and another foul, which unfortunately wasn't a shooting foul, even though they'd just run that play 3 times in a row, and it clearly was a shooting. But that's the way it goes.
And that was going in the timeout, the lob,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So,
yes.
Hey, listen, on the defensive side, Pacific still kind of made their way in. They shot almost 50%, but the rebounding margin in this one changed a lot of things because you had the 7 rebounding margin. The turnovers were even, but they shoot 4 less times. I mean, you hit 13 threes, obviously, but you never really let any one of these scorers, T.J. Wallace, Ray Bowles, get into a rhythm. A lot of their shots were contested. Yeah,
they were all contested. Well, I would say just about all of them. They made some long twos, which is what. Okay, we'll give that one up, but they
Sure.
made them. Then that was, in some ways, that's TJ's game is probably that. It's been able to pull up, going hard to his right. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's really good at that. And he plays like that high ball screen. He takes it away from it and then brings it back over it. And I actually thought we defended the ball screen part of it well. He ended up just making the shot that we've got to live with that one. You can't guard everything, and he was good enough to make them. They contested long twos. But he's a good player. I mean, he's all-league talent player.
And you mentioned the offensive rebounding for Pacific in the pregame. Only 4 offensive boards. You guys did a great job boxing out.
I thought we did a really good job of that. And there's a couple of areas that we did a really good job of that. Was one of them because we were concerned early on in the preparation of this about making sure that we got to keep them off the glass. Said not a great perimeter shooting team. Means there's going to be offensive rebounds, and if they're going to shoot long twos, there's going to be long rebounds as well. And the other harder ones to gather. Things that are around the rim, short shots, you can read, and you're generally inside your man, and you're close to the hoop, so they're not the difficult ones to rebound. It's the pull-up jump shots with from 19 feet. They're the hard ones to rebound, especially if the big has had to help on a ball screen. Now he's got to scramble back and find his man and box him out. But to keep him to 4 offensive rebounds, I thought we did a really nice job there.
They were missing Jack Williams as their leading rebounder in this one. He stayed in Stockton. He was sick. But how does he change things for them? Does he change things, or does he just kind of replace somebody else's minutes?
Yeah, well, and that's probably what it is. I mean, the thing he does change is that he's a better shooter at the 4 spot than what they've had. Or what they had tonight. So it means you've got to guard things a little differently because you can't help with your other big quite as much. Add to that, he's also a very good rebounder. And part of that is because he plays further away from the hoop so he can get a run and jump at it. If you play on the block, it's kind of easy. Well, it's easier to block out because you're right on each other. But he's a tenacious player. He plays really hard, which shows up in his rebounding stats. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it shows up in his rebounding stats. And he goes and chases everything. So in the end, I mean, it was probably someone else taking those minutes that's similar, but just a little bit different.
And maybe like a Jacob Lampkin with more shooting range. Cause I mean, he had an effect on tonight's game. Lampkin did. Just his hustle.
Yeah, he does. And I watched the Gonzaga game. I think he had 18.5 against Gonzaga, and he made jump shots. He went around people. He got offensive rebounds. He's got post game. He's good. He's not big. He's probably bigger than what maybe you think. I think he's probably 6'8", but he just plays hard. He plays hard, and he's got a range of skill. He doesn't try and go outside of his range of skill. I think his biggest strength. He knows what he's good at, and he just goes and does that.
Yeah, don't forget, this team led Gonzaga at half in Stockton. So, I mean, they're capable of this type of, long stretches of playing well.
Yes,
certainly.
No doubt.
You look ahead to Pepperdine, obviously, on Saturday. It's been a struggle for them this year. They've lost to Marty Udini. They've still got some dangerous players, though. I mean, Lamont Murray Jr. again went for over 20 tonight. Yep. He is a prolific scorer. Cameron Edwards, the sophomore. What can you tell us about Pepperdine in advance of Saturday's game?
Well, Cameron Edwards has been injured. I think he broke his jaw and maybe got concussion with that, and I don't know that he's.
You're better prepared than I am.
Yeah, unless he played tonight, I don't think he's been playing for quite a while. So they've really missed him. He was great as a freshman last year. As you say, Lamont Murray's still there, and Jeremy Major at the point guard is still there. Chris Reyes has been their other main scorer, playing as a
double tonight.
Yeah, really undersized 5. But they've lost Udini. They've lost Edwards for a large stretch. They've had KJ Stevens out with foot surgery, and there's one other that's been out of. So they've had a really tough run with injuries, and they're young. Added on top of that, and in the end, they beat us twice last year.
Yeah.
So we're taking nothing for granted. Certainly not taking anyone lightly or anything else. And they will think they've got a formula to beat us. Our job now is to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and protect the home floor, of course.
Yep.
Well, Marty, congratulations on the win tonight. Thanks
problem
for joining us, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, thanks, AJ.
Marty Clarke, brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, delivering digital copier and technology solutions to the Bay Area for over 15 years. Visit them online today at shamrockoffice.com. And it's now time for our player of the game, our Crowne Plaza player of the game. It's Tanner Krebs, owner of 9 points off the bench in 14 minutes, 3 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 7 outside the arc. Tanner, good to have you on the program, and a nice game for yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good team win. Pacific played hard. They played really well, and we came into the second half and we said we're going to have to battle, and we did, and we came out with a win, and so it was really good. Yeah,
that's kind of a hallmark of their team. We talked about it with Marty. They play really hard, and they're really physical. I mean, this was a physical, kind of grinded-out game, especially the last 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, definitely. We were expecting that. Pacific's pretty well known for playing hard, playing physical. I don't remember last year it was similar. So we expected that, and I think we handled it pretty well. So I think we had 7 turnovers for the whole game. That's really impressive, and I think that's a huge factor in our win.
Well, and you guys relish that physicality to a certain extent as well. I mean, not overly physical, obviously, but your team does not shy away from the physicality either. I mean, I think you guys pride yourself on being a physical team. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, definitely. We I think Dane sets the example. He goes in, he plays harder than anyone else on the floor, and he plays tough, and that really inspires the rest of us to go in and to do the same thing. And yeah, I think that today that really happened. I think a lot of guys came in and played really well. Like Kyle Fitz played really well hard. Jock Landell played really hard. Joe, it was good.
You guys jumped out to that 30-11 lead, 13 and a half minutes into the game. It looked like you were going to run them out of the gym, and then they switched to that zone defense and kind of switched from a zone to a man. How did that change things for you? How did you adjust? How would you assess your execution against the changing defense the Pacific threw at you the last 3 quarters or so of that game?
I think it gave us a bit of a surprise. The first few possessions, I don't think we handled it too well, but then we started to find our feet. We talked about it in halftime, like how to beat it, and when we started going to our game plan, I think it worked a lot. Like Joe and Jock were connecting on a lot of lobs, finding the gaps. We were knocking down shots. It was really good to see that we were able to handle, adapt to it. I'd say, yeah, it was good.
And for yourself, 9 points, 3 of 7 outside the arc. It was kind of a slow start for you this year. I mean, didn't play in a couple games there, but boy, over the last month and a half or so, it seems like you've got more confidence now. And I heard a quote from you earlier that Coach tells you to keep shooting the basketball because they know that's what you do well. I mean, how would you kind of assess and describe your transition to the Division I level?
I definitely got off to a slower start. My shots, they didn't feel as good. I kind of felt awkward. It was all about my confidence, really. I never played it. I didn't play for a year.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting back into it. But yeah, a lot of guys gave me confidence. A lot of my teammates, coaches. I got in the gym. I started shooting more, just trying to give myself more confidence. And then now I feel really good about my shot. I know every time I shoot the ball, I feel like it's going in. So. It's really good. I think that's where I need to get to I just got to keep going, yeah.
As well, you're over 40% now from outside the arc, and
yeah, let's go.
Let's go, exactly. But that's not your whole game, though. We've seen you take the dribble inside, hit the nice fall-away jumper at Gonzaga. How would you describe your game, kind of? And I get a burrito.
Yeah, there you go.
I get a burrito today. All right, Tony Kearns coming in hot. Did you get one of these? I'm assuming
yeah,
you did.
I get a bowl.
Oh, you get a bowl? Okay, there we go. Okay, same order on the road. But how would you describe your game? What are your strengths on the offensive side?
I definitely think I'm a scorer. I think, shooter scorer. I don't think I've been able to show my full potential as a scorer. I mean, I've been shooting a lot of threes, more than twos. But at practice, I can definitely score the ball in multiple ways. I think I'm a really hard defender. I think I defend the ball really well. It's something I really worked on. It was a weakness coming in. Quote Coach Bennett, I'm an awful defender. But I really worked on it, and now I feel really good about that. So it's good, yeah, really good.
Marty mentioned that, and you were really good tonight defensively as well. And Marty mentioned how much better you've gotten on the defensive side. How do you work on becoming a better defender? Is it just adjusting to the speed of the game? Is it foot speed? Understanding where you need to be? How do you do that?
Bit of everything. It's definitely a lot of it is trying to get into the right position in the play. Moving a lot of my problems was moving laterally. So I got in the gym. I was doing a lot of slides. Marty got me doing a lot of slides. In the weight room, we had this thing called the slide board. And
that's not like the Nordic track, is it? Do you remember the Nordic track?
No.
Okay. Well, that's maybe a little before your time.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And you just kind of slide. You got these little socks on, and you're sliding back and forth, and it helps you move a little bit, get your hips moving and lower. And last year I was doing a lot of agility ladders, just little things like that. And I think a lot of defense is mental, and I kind of got that mentality about me to go out, and I have my guy, and I'm like, all right, he's not going to score. He's not going to have an impact on this game, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Well, Tanner, it's great to see you playing with confidence, and you're really having an impact on this team over the last, like I said, month and a half, couple months. And, boy, you found your niche, and it's going to be fun to watch your career progress here at St. Mary's. Congratulations on the win and your performance tonight. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's Tanner Krebs, our Crown Plaza player of the game. Welcome back inside McEwen Pavilion, a 33-25 St. Mary's lead at the break. And he is Eric Valenzuela. He is the head coach of St. Mary's baseball, and he's the owner of a new championship ring, something new for the trophy case.
Yeah, I'm so proud of these guys, and we're a couple weeks away from 2017 season, so we don't want to definitely get in the way of that. But what we accomplished last year as a team, and having these guys back, like Corbin Burns back tonight, and Anthony Villa, what they've done for the program, those seniors that we had last year, were unbelievable. So yeah, what a great night, to show to our fans, and we love them, and we're excited for 2017.
You guys got a nice round of applause here tonight. 33-25 record last year. The first West Coast Conference championship in school history. The first NCAA tournament appearance in school history. What did last year mean to St. Mary's baseball?
Well, it meant a lot, and there's so many. The tradition is rich. It goes back so long. There's so many good teams, so many good players, so many good coaches. But to do what we did last year was phenomenal, and totally excitement. Excitement throughout the West Coast in California, and we're building. We're continuing to build going forward.
Did you anticipate that type of success that early in your third year, winning? The West Coast Conference has a history of being a multi-bid league, and you win in your third year. Did that surprise you being that early?
Well, I think this place it's an easy sell. I think with the unbelievable, the academics, mixed with the social aspect of things and the family-like atmosphere. I think I just wanted to get these kids on campus to see this beautiful place and put together a culture of toughness and getting these guys to believe that they can win, and so, am I surprised? I like what we do, and I have a lot of faith in what we do and what my coaching staff does, and the kids bought into it, and it happened pretty quickly. So now we got to sustain it, moving forward.
Eric Valenzuela, head St. Mary's baseball coach, going into his 4th year. You returned 7 starters from that team. Of course, you lose a few big pieces: Corbin Burns, Nate Nolan, Anthony Villa. The list goes on for you. But I know you're excited about the kids that you brought in. Zach Kirtley as the 3rd-team All-American preseason. What excites you about this year's club?
Well, you're right. I mean, we have our heart and soul is back with guys like Joey Fisk and Brett Rosso, who were awesome during the tournament. And then having your best hitter, with Zach Kirtley back, and then having 2 seniors on the weekend with Johnny York and Cameron Neff back, who had that experience forever. So, and then some guys got to step up, and I'm really excited about to show the fans these guys that were playing a little bit, and now they're here, and now is their shot, and so it's exciting. The talent level is through the roof. It's great.
And you've put together a challenging schedule here. Washington at home, at Vanderbilt. You've got a Big West team in CSUN. And name some of these midweek games: UC Santa Barbara, Oregon State, Cal.
Cal State Fullerton.
Right, the latter, Cal and Oregon State, both here in Moraga. What do you like about the schedule outside of just the regular competition in the West Coast Conference?
Well, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to step up that competition in the non-conference and play the best. And so we're playing. I think one of the preseason polls came out. I think we're playing 6 or 7 teams that are ranked in the top 25. So, hey, after coming off last year, I want our guys. We want to be right there with the big boys, and I think we can do that. So we're going to challenge ourselves, and we got Washington coming home. They're top 25. They're playing. We got them here in Moraga. We go to Nashville and play Vanderbilt. And we got Santa Barbara twice. We got Santa Barbara, and they went to the World Series. I mean, hey, it's this is what it's all about. This is what I wanted to bring to the table.
How do you keep the excitement going with St. Mary's baseball, not just with the fans, but with your players? How do you keep them hungry to keep wanting to stay at the top?
Well, I think it's the expectation. I mean, people don't want to talk about expectations, but I think after what we went through last year, I think that's, our guys want nothing less. I mean, it's not just getting to a regional now; it's getting beyond that. Playing Coastal Carolina and playing them tough and getting the lead on them early for 5 innings. It showed our guys and our young guys that are back that, hey, that was a national championship team. We could do it. They weren't better than us. They beat us that day, but, we played right with them. And so, yeah, we want to take that next step. We could do it. Coastal was a perfect example of you don't have to have the biggest name or the stadiums and this and that to win a national championship. Not in baseball. And so that's what we're striving for.
This next weekend's a big weekend, too. Alumni game and the first pitch dinner, which I know you're excited about. Now, can the fans still purchase tickets to that first pitch dinner if they choose to?
Absolutely. It sells out every year. I think we're probably going to sell out by midweek of next week,
sure.
But no, we want everybody there, fans, the families and alumni and everything. And then we have our alumni game on Sunday the 29th. So we want everybody coming out and enjoying St. Mary's baseball and get everybody excited and ready to go for the 2017 season.
St. Mary's season opens up February 17th against UC Davis in Las Vegas, that tournament at UNLV. And first time to catch the Gaels here in Moraga, Thursday, February 23rd, when St. Mary's hosts Washington. Coach, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for all you've done for St. Mary's baseball. You certainly reinvigorated interest and the passion in the program here. As an alumni, I speak from experience. And I can tell you that the alumni base and the fans here at St. Mary's very excited about St. Mary's baseball. You've done a fantastic job. We're really lucky to have you here.
I love it here, and I thank all the alums and everybody that helped build this. And hey, we're just we're proud to continue the tradition.
Absolutely, Coach Eric Valenzuela. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Eric Valenzuela, head coach of St. Mary's baseball. We'll take a quick break. Come back, check out the West Coast Conference scoreboard. We have the second half for you on the St. Mary's IMG Sports Network.